Yesterday morning, the U.S. Secretary of Treasury basically yelled, "We're not buying Bitcoin" on national TV. And Bitcoin face planted. But by the afternoon, he's tweeting the exact opposite, saying Treasury is committed to finding budget-neutral ways to buy more Bitcoin for the strategic reserve. That's not a small walk back. That's a Besant backflip. And if you think that was just an innocent clarification, well, if I wanted cheaper sats before I started stacking, that's exactly what I would say too. Today, we're breaking down what budget neutral really means and how it could unlock billions of dollars to flow into Bitcoin, why America's Bitcoin strategic reserve just became more real, and how this collides with the thinnest Bitcoin supply on exchanges in 7 years, setting the stage for a squeeze that could make $10 million Bitcoin sound conservative. Oh, and we've got Trump, Saylor, Max Kaiser, and Dan Moorhead weighing in. You are witnessing the nation-state game theory in real time. So yeah, buckle up. The US just put Bitcoin buys back on the table. Welcome back. I'm Sophie with Bitcoin Simply. Let's go. Thursday morning, before the market opened, Besant tells Fox, "We're not buying Bitcoin. We'll use confiscated assets."
You know, we've got the large gold holding. I doubt we're going to revalue it, but we are going to keep it there, again, as a store of value for the American people. We've also started to get into the 21st century, a Bitcoin strategic reserve. We're not going to be buying that, but we are going to use confiscated assets and continue to build that up. We're going to stop selling that.
But minutes later, hot CPI data hits, 3.3% year over year instead of the 2.5% expected. Inflation surprise plus no buy headline equals instant sell-off. And by mid-afternoon, Besant clarifies on X. Seized Bitcoin is the base, and Treasury is committed to exploring budget-neutral pathways to acquire more. And it looks like after this bullish news, Orange Man is preparing for liftoff.
And there is the president making his way up to the top of the steps there for Air Force One, making a wave to the crowd and entering Air Force One. He has a long flight ahead of him.
DC, budget neutral does not mean we're not spending a dime. It means we're spending, but we offset it somewhere else. The menu here includes gold revaluation, which is Senator Loomis's push, mark gold to market and move the surplus into Bitcoin, tariff receipts, reallocate existing inflows, and asset swaps or Bitcoin bonds, which structure new instruments without raising taxes.
I think that is actually a really important thing. When you're the reserve currency of the world, you don't have somebody else's currency to save in. So the United States doesn't have another currency. It stores $600 billion in gold, which is a staggering amount. It's equivalent to 11 million years of American worker wages. So that's kind of crazy. Go to digital gold. Bitcoin, it's much better. And so I do think it's totally rational. The U.S. already owns 1% of the world's Bitcoins. Keep that, increase that. So I do think it is actually a really good policy. There's a couple countries that already do own Bitcoin. It'd be great for the U.S. to get out in the lead.
That's the rotation in plain English. Pivot from 20th century reserves to 21st century reserves using what you already hold. Here's why the wording matters. The executive branch can found a strategic Bitcoin reserve and stop selling seized Bitcoin. That's Congress's job. Budget neutral is the bridge, a way to acquire without appropriations. One bottleneck: only legally forfeited coins can be used right now, about 15% of seized Bitcoin. Gold revaluation sidesteps that entirely.
But I say this is the steel industry of 100 years ago. It really is. I think you're just in your infancy. I can see it happening. In just 15 years, Bitcoin has gone from merely an idea posted anonymously on an internet message board to being the 9th most valuable asset anywhere in the world. Can you believe that? Is that right? That's a big deal. Think of that. It's already bigger than ExxonMobil. Soon it will be surpassing the entire market cap of silver. And one day it probably will overtake gold. But based on the way it's going now, it could very well be a possibility. There's never been anything like it. And I don't think you've ever seen anything like it.
If overtaking gold is the goal, then this is a massive move in that direction. While DC debates pathways, the float is disappearing. Only 14.5% of Bitcoin is on exchanges, the lowest since August of 2018.
Bitcoin is more of a gold competitor, so it has an investment component, and of course the adoption story as it gains use is what's driving it. I think eventually it will reach full adoption. We don't know where that will be.
What does that look like?
What does full adoption look like? So I think the one target is gold, and gold values are quite high at the moment because of the macro hedge phenomena where governments will buy gold in times of uncertainty. And so, but even there, with the current Bitcoin price level, it's within about a factor of 9 of reaching the gold market cap. And then the larger addressable market for monetary premiums in different assets, like housing, there's a lot of monetary premium there where people will buy an apartment and not use it, not even rent it out, just as an investment vehicle, right? So you see a lot of underused housing premium in the housing sector in different countries, and obviously premium in shares in the stock markets and bonds and other forms of alternative assets. And so, how Finney actually estimated that to be 200 trillion, and surprisingly, he did this in I think 10th of January 2009, before there were any transactions and any market value. So it's quite a kind of forward-looking estimate, but it seems to be still, considered a reasonable estimate of the size of that addressable market. Now, we don't know, how much of that Bitcoin will capture. So there's a bit of conjecture there, but it seems logical that, if the institutional adoption continues and the retail interest continues, that Bitcoin could get there.
Whatever your end state number, the math is simple. Policy tailwinds plus scarce supply equals violent repricing. Strategically, this is about portfolio consumption. The US holds 8,133 tons of gold, worth roughly $600 billion. Reallocating even a fraction into Bitcoin changes the reserve profile and sends a signal to allies and competitors.
Dollars of capital are flowing into the network. It's going to go from 2 billion to 20 billion to 200 billion to 2 trillion to 20 trillion to 200 trillion. And when it gets to 200 trillion, it'll chop along at plus 20% to eventually 300, 400, 500 trillion dollars. And where is that capital going to come from? It's going to come from Russian real estate. It's going to come from Chinese private equity. It's going to come from everything in Africa, everything in South America. You have capital flowing from foreign financial and physical assets to Bitcoin. You have capital flowing from 20th century assets to Bitcoin. Capital is going to flow from the 20th century to the 21st century. It's going to flow from physical to digital. It's going to flow from currency-based derivatives to a digital commodity derivative. So it's already happening. It's unstoppable. It's literally like, for me to say Bitcoin's going to demonetize gold understates it. Yeah, it's going to demonetize gold. Then it's going to demonetize the real estate that's 10x more than gold. Then it's going to demonetize every long-term store of value. So what you have is a situation like the Europeans show up and they give like some Dutch guilders or some pieces of paper or some glass beads or seashells or stone coins to people using a more primitive form of money. And we have the opportunity to, in essence, just grab 10, 20, 25% of the network, let the entire dynamic flow, and it's going to accelerate. And when the dust settles, the American people will own 25, 30% of that capital, which right now is sitting in 20th century.
Wall Street still thinks risk asset, but policymakers are increasingly treating Bitcoin as strategic collateral.
Because we traded all this gold for all the European commodities and manufactured goods. The Europeans suffered a recession. America was built on the gold that the 49ers brought. And so this is the modern digital gold rush. We should just go grab the digital gold. Eventually, the rest of the world will trade all of their stuff for it, but when they buy it, they'll be buying it at 10 million a coin or 20 million a coin or 50 million a coin. And we will basically take our debt and we'll negate it, and then we'll flip to being a creditor nation. And what does it take to be rich? Well, ask Bill Gates or Steve Ballmer or Mark Zuckerberg, you know, or Larry Page or Sergey Brin. What does it take to be rich? It just takes a little bit of vision, a little bit of conviction, and use technology, right? And so in this case, I think our country should be rich. It is rich. We're rich because we bought California for a few $million before people knew that, before they knew Hollywood or Silicon Valley would be a thing, right? And now I think we should buy cyberspace, and it's the most powerful lever imaginable, because you're paying a penny to get a dollar, and not only are you paying a penny to get a dollar, but you're de-risking the thing, right? Because in the process of adopting Bitcoin as the network, you force a stampede of all of our allies, all of our frenemies, all of our enemies, and you accelerate the monetization of the network. So everybody's a winner. I mean, arguably, even the rest of the world's a winner, because they're going to be better off using digital capital as a store of value than using Siberian warehouses.
That's the first mover advantage. Set the standard and make everyone else follow. This isn't just domestic policy, it's foreign policy. Neutral seizure-resistant collateral reshapes leverage in sanctions, trade, and diplomacy.
Sure, Walt. Thanks for having me on. Nice seeing you. So Bitcoin fulfills the promise that humanity has been searching for ever since the beginning of time, and that is perfect money. And perfect money allows humans to travel through time and space effortlessly and to achieve their full potential. And for many years, we used various pebbles and stones, and then gold was popular for thousands of years. And then in 2009, Bitcoin came along, and it fulfilled this promise. It is effectively perfect money. And now what we're seeing is the realization that Bitcoin, when you compare it to other stores of value, like fiat money or property or fine art or any kind of store of value, even the stock market or the bond market, is superior. And so now we're seeing trillions of dollars leave these other stores of value and find their way into Bitcoin. And what's interesting right now is that we've entered into really a new Sputnik moment, because various nations are scrambling to build up the biggest Bitcoin stock that they possibly can, because nations are beginning to understand that this is the new prima franca of the 21st century. The entire global economy is being rebuilt on top of Bitcoin, which is really perfect money. So in the case of Russia and the recent comments coming out of the Kremlin, they seem to be now ready to enter the space race or the global Bitcoin race. The United States has said under the new administration, Donald Trump, that they want to buy 1 million Bitcoin. You have Cynthia Lummis, who's a senator in Wyoming, saying they want to sell their gold, 8,000 tons of gold, and buy Bitcoin. You have other countries making that decision. We want to buy Bitcoin. Various states in the United States are choosing to buy Bitcoin and hold Bitcoin. And so this is really going to define the economy in the 21st century. And because at the end of the day, when you have something like Bitcoin that's better than anything else as a store of value, the market will recognize this, and you start to see people sell off other assets and move into Bitcoin.
It's a race, and it rewards speed.
Pledge that we would bring back American liberty and leadership and make the United States the crypto capital of the world, and that's what we've done. And under the Trump administration, this is only going further. You're going to do really well. I mean, I'm so proud of what you've done in the last couple of years. And
the market prices in not just what's done, but what leaders are signaling what will be done next. Technically, Thursday's break didn't break the structure. It reset it. CME gap filled, bull flag retested, RSI reset. A reclaim of $121,000 puts all-time high continuation back on deck. and any real Treasury buy program becomes rocket fuel. Now, let's take a moment to recognize our sponsors. Bitcoin is becoming ingrained in the financial system. Here's how to make it work for you without selling a single sat. If you ever need to tap into your Bitcoin's value without selling it, you're holding pristine collateral. That's where Ledn comes in. Ledn has funded over $10 billion in Bitcoin-backed loans since 2018. No monthly payments, no penalties, just pure flexibility. You control your loan, you control your Bitcoin. Collateral is never lent out to generate interest, and every 6 months, proof of reserves. It's simple. If you need cash but don't want to sell your precious Bitcoin, Ledn has your back. Check out Ledn, Bitcoin-backed loans done right. Go to learn.ledn.com/simply. Simply Bitcoin clients get 25 basis points off their first loan. While Google and the government keep looking for ways to control your Bitcoin, you need to control your Bitcoin. That's where the bitcoinway.com comes in. Privacy, self-custody, and sovereign tools for serious Bitcoiners. Whether it's setting up your hardware wallet, multi-sig, or keeping your data private, these guys are the real deal. Visit thebitcoinway.com and take back your financial sovereignty. You can schedule a free 30-minute consultation today using that link in the show notes. So here's where we stand. The U.S. Strategic Bitcoin Reserve is real, and the no-buy moment was just a speed bump. Budget neutral isn't code for inaction. It's the playbook for stacking billions without raising taxes. Supply on exchanges is at a 7-year low. ETFs and treasuries are hovering coins. And now nation-state policy is moving in. We're watching the opening act of a race. One where the first movers don't just win, they set the price everyone else has to pay. Call it a backflip, call it a pivot. I call it confirmation. America's Bitcoin strategy is alive and well. It's evolving, and it just got a whole lot more interesting.
And the first nation to print money, the first nation to print their own currency to buy Bitcoin wins. Right? Like, Tom, look what MicroStrategy did. We basically issue our own currency, our stock, and we buy Bitcoin. What happened? We went from $1 billion to $100 billion market cap is what happened. Is it inflation? It's only inflation if you print the currency to invest, to make a bad investment, right? If you print the currency to buy something that's appreciating faster than your inflation rate, it's actually accretion.
Don't forget Mining Disrupt 2025, the world's biggest Bitcoin mining conference. Live demos, insane new rigs, and the people who are literally securing the network are heading to Dallas November 11th through the 13th. Meet the legends building the hash power revolution. From sovereign mining to AI and Bitcoin integration, prepare to have your mind blown. Grab those tickets today. Come and see the Simply Bitcoin team on the news desk, and don't forget to use promo code SimplyBitcoin for 20% off. Don't forget to smash the like button, drop cheap sats in the comments if you caught the head fake and bought the dip, then hit the subscribe so that we can keep front-running nation states together. See you next time. This is Bitcoin Simply. Happy stacking.